the mistake that 80% of seniors make when they drink water after 6 p.m. What if the reason you wake up at 2 a.m. has nothing to do with getting older and everything to do with a bad habit of not drinking enough water? I can say this with total certainty as a urologist. Most persons over 60 are not drinking too much water, they're consuming it at the wrong time and in the wrong way. And the effects are much worse than just a small problem. People over 60 who have trouble sleeping are more likely to have high blood pressure, less sharp thinking, a higher chance of falling, and less energy overall. Think about how nice it would be to wake up tomorrow feeling clear-headed, stable, and well-rested instead of sleepy and cranky. What if the whole change started with how you sip water after dinner? Stay with me because what I'm about to say could transform the way you do things at night for good. Here is the truth that makes you feel bad. Many older people actively limit their fluid intake all day, maybe to avoid having to go to the bathroom a lot during the day. Then in the evening, they catch up because they are thirsty. This backloading pattern puts too much stress on the kidneys at the worst conceivable time. Harvard Medical School says that kidney function and hormonal signaling change naturally as we age. For example, the release of antidiuretic hormone at night helps concentrate urine as you sleep. When that signal gets weaker, drinking a lot of fluids at night almost always means that the bladder will fill up. Stop for a second. Do you usually drink less in the morning and afternoon and more after 7 p.m.? That pattern alone could be the reason you wake up. The Mayo Clinic says that nocturia, or waking up more than once a night to pee, is very frequent in persons over 60. However, just because something is widespread doesn't imply it's safe. When you wake up, your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure changes, and your body leaves deep sleep, which is when it heals. Over time, broken sleep makes you tired, makes it harder to keep your balance, and makes your immune system less strong. The American Heart Association often cites cardiovascular studies that shows that older persons who don't get enough sleep are at a higher risk for heart disease. Now picture this. You wake up 3 times a night. That's more than 1,000 times when you wake up. Can you see how this slowly takes away your energy? And what if the problem isn't your bladder, but when you go? There's another thing that people don't think about that makes this mistake worse after 60. As we get older, our bladders may hold less urine, and the feeling of needing to go can be stronger even when the bladder isn't full. That means that a certain amount of urine that wouldn't have bothered you at 40 wakes you up right away at 70. When you lie down, your body naturally redistributes fluids. For example, fluid that gathered in your legs throughout the day goes back into circulation, and your kidneys suddenly filter more fluid overnight. If you added a big glass of water around 9 or 10 p.m., you basically placed 2 triggers on top of each other. Once you know how the body works, can you see how predictable this becomes? This is when a lot of individuals unwittingly make the cycle worse. They drink a lot of water after waking up at night because their mouth is dry. That dryness is usually caused by breathing through your mouth or typical changes that happen at night, not real dehydration. But those extra gulps start the bladder filling process all over again. This makes a loop that goes like this: wake up, drink, replenish, and wake up again. Researchers at Harvard who study sleep say that even modest behavioral loops can keep people from getting enough sleep. Consider your own pattern. Do you drink water right away when you wake up? That one instinct could be making you stay awake longer. There's also a mental side that most senior health recommendations don't talk about very much. For decades, many adults were told that more water is always better. Seniors need to stay hydrated to stay healthy, but it depends on the situation. The body does better when things are balanced, not when they are too much or too little. Drinking too much water late at night doesn't help the kidneys work better. It makes timing systems work harder. And it's funny that the dread of dehydration often makes individuals do things that hurt their sleep. Think about how you can think you're protecting your health when you're actually hurting it. That revelation may make you feel uneasy, but it gives you power because it indicates you have control. Let's picture a different way of doing things.
Imagine starting your day with deliberate hydration that helps with circulation, digestion, and what many experts call the basic morning behaviors for seniors. You keep a constant, moderate intake all afternoon. By early evening, you slowly taper down instead of stopping or starting up all at once. Do you notice how much more in sync that feels with your body's natural rhythm? In the next section, I'll explain how your kidneys, hormones, and circulation work together at night. Once you grasp how this works, you'll never look at evening water the same way again. The science behind why you wake up at night. We need to go deeper now that you know the secret hydration error. When you know how your body works, you stop blaming your age and start taking charge. What if I told you that your kidneys aren't waking you up for no reason? They are following signals, exact hormonal cues. And after age 60, those signals change in little but important ways. If you don't pay attention to this change, it can slowly affect your heart health, metabolism, and even your ability to think clearly. Imagine thinking your bladder is weak when all it is that your hormones are out of sync. That difference makes a big difference. Antidiuretic hormone, or ADH, is a hormone that your body needs. Its job is simple but very important. It tells your kidneys to save water while you sleep, which lowers the amount of pee you make at night. ADH levels go up at night in younger people in a predictable way. However, studies cited in Sleep and Aging Discourse from Harvard Medical School indicate that this nocturnal increase may decrease with advancing age. What happened? Your kidneys still make more urine than they did decades ago. Imagine this: if you drink a big glass of water at 9:30 p.m. and your ADH response is weaker than it used to be, your bladder fills up considerably faster than you thought it would be. You wake up and think, this is just part of getting older. But is it truly just getting older, or is it timing? Most seniors are never taught about the next tier. Gravity draws fluid down during the day, especially if you sit for a long time or stand a lot. Even a little swelling in the ankle is a sign that fluid has moved into the tissues. The Mayo Clinic typically talks about this when talking about nocturia. When you lie down at night, the fluid goes back into your bloodstream. Your heart sends it to your kidneys clean it up, your bladder fills up, and this can happen even if you didn't drink much before bed. Think about this: do your ankles ever feel a little tight at night? That could be a quiet reason why you wake up at 2 a.m. This is where things get more serious. Your sympathetic nervous system turns on every time you wake up at night. Your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure changes. The American Heart Association often talks about cardiovascular results that show that older persons who don't get enough sleep are at a higher risk for heart disease. Now picture this: you wake up 3 times a night. That's more than 1,000 times when you wake up. Can you see how this slowly takes away your energy? And what is the problem isn't your bladder, but when you go. There's another thing that people don't think about that makes this mistake worse after 60. As we get older, our bladders may hold less urine, and the feeling of needing to go can be stronger even when the bladder isn't full. That means that a certain amount of urine that wouldn't have bothered you at 40 wakes you up right away at 70. When you lie down, your body naturally redistributes fluids. For example, fluid that gathered in your legs throughout the day goes back into circulation, and your kidneys suddenly filter more fluid overnight. If you added a big glass of water around 9 or 10 p.m., you basically placed 2 triggers on top of each other. Once you know how the body works, can you see how predictable this becomes? This is when a lot of individuals unwittingly make the cycle worse. They drink a lot of water after waking up at night because their mouth is dry. That dryness is usually caused by breathing through your mouth or typical changes that happen at night, not real dehydration. But those extra gulps start the bladder filling process all over again. This makes a loop that goes like this: wake up, drink, replenish, and wake up again. Researchers at Harvard who study sleep say that even modest behavioral loops can keep people from getting enough sleep. Consider your own pattern. Do you drink water right away when you wake up? That one instinct could be making you stay awake longer. There's also a mental side that most senior health recommendations don't talk about very much. For decades, many adults were told that more water is always better. Seniors need to stay hydrated to stay healthy, but it depends on the situation. The body does better when things are balanced, not when they are too much or too little. Drinking too much water late at night doesn't help the kidneys work better. It makes timing systems work harder. And it's funny that the dread of dehydration often makes individuals do things that hurt their sleep. Think about how you can think you're protecting your health when you're actually hurting it. That revelation may make you feel uneasy, but it gives you power because it indicates you have control. Let's picture a different way of doing things. Imagine starting your day with deliberate hydration that helps with circulation, digestion, and what many experts call the basic morning behaviors for seniors. You keep a constant, moderate intake all afternoon. By early evening, you slowly taper down instead of stopping or starting up all at once.
The urologist-approved water timing strategy that keeps you awake. Now that you know the science underlying midnight peeing in terms of hormones and blood flow, let's speak about what really works. Because knowing something doesn't change anything. And here's the good news. Most people who get up at night to pee can become a lot better with a set schedule for drinking water. Not limited, not getting enough water, timing that is planned. Think about how nice it would be to go to bed knowing that your kidneys and bladder are working with your sleep cycle instead than against it. Just having that confidence will help you relax about sleep because anxiety is another silent cause of waking up at night. The first rule is to drink water before you eat. Harvard Medical School's standard advice on hydration is that spreading out your fluid consumption earlier in the day helps your kidneys work better and lowers the amount of fluid you take in at night. Your body is naturally ready to handle fluids well in the first 2 hours after you wake up. Your kidneys are working well, your cortisol levels are rising, and your circulation is busy. This is the best time to drink a lot of your daily water. Instead of putting off drinking fluids until the middle of the afternoon, think about starting your morning routine for seniors with planned hydration. Not too much, but with a purpose. Be honest with yourself. Do you start your day with enough water, or do you catch up later? The second rule is to taper off in a planned way, not all at once. Adults over 60 often make one of two mistakes. They either drink a lot at night or stop drinking fluids altogether after 5 p.m. Both methods can go wrong. The Mayo Clinic says that dehydration in older people can cause dizziness, kidney strain, and low blood pressure. The idea is to slowly cut back after 5 or 6 p.m., not to get rid of it completely. Think of your bladder as a tank that likes a continuous flow instead of sudden bursts. If you eat smaller meals at night and don't drink a lot of fluids within 2 to 3 hours of going to bed, you can fill your bladder less at night without losing hydration. Just this one change could make your sleep seem very different. Controlled nightly leg elevation is a strategy that many urologists quietly suggest, but few people actually do. As we talked about before, fluid builds up in the lower legs during the day. You can let that fluid back into your circulation while you're still awake by raising your legs for 20 to 30 minutes in the early evening before your taper window. It goes through your kidneys, you go to the bathroom before bed, and you make it less likely that you'll wake up at 2 a.m. This basic treatment is always supported by clinical observations in geriatric medicine. Picture yourself sitting comfortably with your legs up while watching TV, knowing that you're doing something to stop nocturnal disruptions. A small habit, big return. There's also the pace. When you drink a lot of water quickly, it extends your stomach and tells your kidneys to process the fluid swiftly. Sipping slowly and spaced out during the day lets the body slowly absorb and spread the drink. Medical literature on general hydration physiology says that the body does a better job of keeping fluid balance when intake is steady. If you usually drink a whole glass in a few seconds, you might want to slow down. It sounds almost too easy, but physiology rewards people who stick to their plans. Could the speed at which you drink be affecting you without you knowing it? Another important change is to drink water and move around more early in the day. Walking or other light movement might help your circulation and keep fluid from building up in your legs.
The American Heart Association always says that seniors should get some moderate exercise every day as part of a healthy lifestyle. This is good for both heart health and fluid balance. When circulation gets better, less fluid builds up in tissues, which means less redistribution at night. Think about how a daily stroll could help you sleep better and have more energy after age 60. That's what efficiency is. Now take a moment to think. How might your nights vary over the following week if you only did 3 things: front-loading in the morning, tapering in the evening, and elevating your legs before bed? Could you cut down from waking up from 3 times to once, from 2 to none? Behavioral alignment works remarkably rapidly on the body. But even if you follow this plan to the letter, there may be something else that gets in the way of your success. And in the following part, we'll talk about the nocturnal triggers that many seniors don't even think about, triggers that might be in your kitchen right now. The hidden nighttime triggers that are hurting your bladder. If you don't pay attention to the subtle triggers that discreetly make you pee, you could still wake up at night even if you follow the perfect hydration schedule. And this is where a lot of people over 60 get angry. They add, "I stopped drinking water at 7 p.m. and I still wake up." But what if it's not the water? What if anything else is messing with your bladder's nighttime rhythm? Most people don't even know that ignoring these cues can reverse all the work you've done. Let's find out what might be going on in your body once the sun goes down. Many older people don't realize how much caffeine can affect their bladders. The Mayo Clinic says that coffee makes you pee more and can make the lining of your bladder more sensitive, which makes you feel like you need to go more often. A lot of older people don't know that caffeine can stay in their bodies for 6 to 8 hours, and sometimes even longer, depending on how fast their bodies break it down. Your kidneys may still be affected by that strong tea or coffee you had at 3 p.m. Now picture this. You deliberately cut back on how much water you drink at night, but your bladder is still too active because of a drink you had hours earlier. Have you honestly looked at what you do in the afternoon? This tiny change can make a big difference in how often you wake up at night. Another strong disruptor is alcohol. Alcohol may make you feel comfortable at first, but it actually lowers the level of antidiuretic hormone, which is the hormone that helps minimize overnight urine production. The American Heart Association has said several times that alcohol affects hydration balance and stress on the heart. Even one drink at night can make you pee more at night. Imagine that you think a modest glass of wine will help you sleep, but in reality, it's telling your kidneys to let out more fluid. And going to the bathroom every night makes you more likely to collapse. Research from Harvard Medical School demonstrates that falls at night are a common cause of injury in persons over 65. This isn't meant to scare you, but it is meant to keep you free. Next is sodium. Dinner with a lot of salt is frequent, especially when you eat packaged or processed dishes. Sodium makes your body hold on to more water at night. When you lie down, the fluid that was held up goes back into your bloodstream and is filtered by your kidneys. What happened? More urination at night. The Mayo Clinic always says that lowering salt is good for both controlling blood pressure and keeping fluids in balance. Think about how lowering the amount of salt you eat at dinner could help your heart and your sleep. That's the kind of efficiency we want to see in elders who live healthy lives. There's also blood sugar control. When blood sugar levels are high, the kidneys work to get rid of extra glucose, which can make you pee more. Disrupted sleep and imbalanced metabolism can make each other worse. If you wake up a lot and feel tired or thirsty in the morning, you might want to talk to your doctor about getting a blood sugar test. Could your bladder be trying to tell you something more? Nocturia isn't always just about water. It can also be a sign of metabolic problems. Now take a break and think. Think about how you usually spend your evenings. Is there caffeine? Do you drink? Snacks with salt? Desserts late? Even small changes in these areas can help you sleep better at night in only a few days. But we're not done yet. Even if you get rid of triggers and time your water perfectly, your bladder's strength and sleep architecture will still be important in the long run. In the last part, we'll talk about how to keep your bladder and health safe for the years to come.
Getting your bladder stronger and getting back to deep sleep after 60. If timing water is the plan and getting rid of triggers is the protection, then bladder strength and sleep structure are the base. Muscle tone naturally decreases beyond age 60, including the pelvic floor muscles that help in bladder control. The Mayo Clinic says that doing pelvic floor exercises regularly can help both men and women have better control over their bladders. Better pelvic support makes you feel less urgent and helps your bladder empty more quickly. Instead of organizing every trip around restroom availability, imagine feeling more confident in your bladder. That trust gives you back your independence. Training your pelvic floor isn't hard, but you have to do it every day. Over time, gentle daily contractions held for a few seconds and done on a regular basis make the muscular support system stronger. Clinical trials on elderly persons demonstrate that they get well in a matter of weeks. Imagine spending just a few minutes a day to keep your freedom safe. When it comes to anti-aging practices for people over 60, tiny daily investments often give the best long-term results. Could this be one of those things you do all the time? Sleep hygiene is another thing that needs to be taken care of. According to a sleep study from Harvard Medical School, keeping the same timings for going to bed and waking up helps keep hormones in balance, particularly ADH signaling at night. A bedroom that is cold and dark helps you sleep more deeply. Limiting blue light exposure before bed protects the generation of melatonin. These changes may seem small, but when you put them all together, they make your body less likely to wake up on its own. Think about how nice it would be if your bedroom was a place to rest instead of a place where you were constantly interrupted. Exercise is also very important. The American Heart Association often stresses that moderate daily activity is important for both your circulation and your metabolism. Better circulation keeps fluid from collecting in the legs, which means less redistribution at night. Walking lightly earlier in the day not only helps your heart, but it also helps you regulate your bladder better at night. Picture how much better your energy would be at 60, how stable your blood pressure would be, and how much deeper you would sleep, all from the same daily routine. That's what smart health suggestions for seniors are meant to do. Now think about the big picture. Deeper restorative sleep happens when you wake up less often during night. Getting enough sleep helps your memory, immune system, mood, and equilibrium. Less risk of falling with better balance. Having more energy lets you stay active with your family, keep up with your hobbies, and stay independent. This isn't simply about not going to the bathroom, it's about keeping your quality of life safe. Sleep, food, and exercise are all important parts of healthy life for seniors. So this is your challenge. Put what you've learned into practice throughout the next 7 evenings. Hydrate before you start. Taper off at night. Put your legs up before you go to bed. Cut back on caffeine, alcohol, and salt at night. Make your pelvic floor stronger. Take care of where you sleep. Then look at the results. Could you cut the number of times you wake up in half? Could you wake up feeling better than you have in months? When you work with your body's physiology, it reacts rapidly. If this advice has helped you figure out why you have to go to the bathroom at night, be sure to sign up for more evidence-based senior health recommendations that are made only for people 60 and older. This channel is all about practical tips for seniors on how to start their day, how to have more energy after 60, and how to keep looking young after 60 that you can use right away at home. Please tell us in the comments how many times you usually wake up at night and which method you want to try first. Your experience may help someone else get their sleep back. Think about how different tonight could be. Think about getting more sleep, waking up stronger, and starting the day steady and sure of yourself. Informed action is the first step toward that future. Now you have the plan. Bonus section: the 5-minute evening reset. Try this structured reset before you go to bed tonight. Put your legs up for 20 minutes. Don't drink anything during the last 2 hours except for little sips if you're really thirsty. Go to the bathroom right before you lie down. If you do wake up, make sure the way to the restroom is well lit. And most essential, keep an eye on your outcomes over the next 7 nights. Behavioral sleep study shows that regular patterns show strong tendencies. Will you wake up less often? Try it out. Your body will tell you what to do. Conclusion: tonight is the start of your freedom at night. You now know something that most people don't. It's not just how much water you drink, but also when and how you drink it. You can get your body in sync with its natural nocturnal rhythm by drinking a lot of water, tapering off smartly, controlling your sodium and caffeine intake, raising your legs, and strengthening your pelvic floor. That alignment keeps your heart, kidneys, sleep cycles, and freedom safe. If this advice helped you figure out why you have to go to the bathroom at night, be sure to sign up for more evidence-based senior health recommendations that are made only for people 60 and older. This channel is all about practical tips for seniors on how to start their day, how to have more energy after 60, and how to keep looking young after 60, that you can use right away at home. Please tell us in the comments how many times you usually wake up at night and which method you want to try first. Your experience may help someone else get their sleep back. Think about how different tonight could be. Think about getting more sleep, waking up stronger, and starting the day steady and sure of yourself. Informed action is the first step toward that future. Now you have the plan.